Okay, it's one of those days. You got to get something on the table and you got to do it fast. Whether it's lunch or dinner, you've got maybe 20 minutes, but you don't want to compromise everybody's health and you don't want a meal that people go, well, we should have just not eaten. This is the greatest, fast, easy dish you will ever make, and it's great for cool weather. The main attraction, if you will, is something known as mochi. Now, mochi is simply sweet rice, brown sweet rice. It cooks up kind of sticky. People say that it's glutinous, but make no mistake, there's no gluten. What they do is they cook it and pound it, and it forms a cake. And this little cake of rice will melt. And it's very warming, and you're still getting a whole grain into your family. We're going to saute some vegetables, put the mochi on top, and it's wondrous. You will love this. So this is my 25-year-old Sillet skillet. It's a heavy steel pot with a ceramic coating. I use it every single day. This is my set here. I've used it so much, and you can see it looks brand new. It holds up like nobody's business. It's a heavy pot, so we're going to take some avocado oil and just heat this up. Now, because it's a heavy pot, it's going to take a second or two, and you won't get that really strong sizzle. But I'm using avocado oil because of all the flavors of the veggies. I want it to be kind of buttery, but I don't want a lot of strong flavors. So I'm using the mild taste of the avocado oil. So into the oil, we take some coarsely chopped ginger and garlic, which will be really good for circulation and to keep us warm this time of year, and some red onion. You can use whatever onion you like, but I am passionately in love with red onions. I think they're sweeter, I think they're lovelier. I'm wild for them. So this is a nice fine Mediterranean sea salt. You want to use in your everyday cooking a nice white salt. You can play around with the others like Himalayan pink and even some flavored salts. They're all lovely and all healthy as long as the base of them is unrefined sea salt. But for everyday cooking, I kind of stay with a white unrefined. So while the onions start to sweat and break down, we'll get the rest of our veggies ready. We're just going to take some carrot and cut it into matchstick pieces. And you just do that by simply cutting the carrot into oblongs, like this. And when your knife is sharp, the oblong pieces fall right on top of themselves. This is called the domino cut. And now you take it and you hold the veggies down, and you run your knife through them to create nice julienne pieces. What's nice about them for this style of dish is it helps the dish to cook quickly because they're nice fine pieces. If these were great big chunks, your dish will cook forever. So in go the carrot, another pinch of salt, just a pinch. And that pinch of salt allows the onions to taste like onions, the carrots like carrots, so everything has a nice depth of flavor. And as soon as your veggies are shiny with oil, you can add the next one. So now we're going to go with sweet potato, and we're going to cut it exactly the same way as the carrot. We're going to cut the sweet potato into oblong pieces, which are going to fall on top of themselves. If the pieces of your veggies that you're cutting are flying all over the cutting board, you need to sharpen your knife. Just rearrange them a little bit. And again, run your knife through them to create matchsticks. Now this dish is going to cook for like 5 to 7 minutes, so I don't need really, really fine matchstick pieces. They can be a little bit chunky so that the dish has some body. Now they go in. Another pinch of salt. You can see it's just a tiny pinch. It's just enough to start the vegetables sweating their juices into the pan. It also helps the veggies to hold on to their nutrition and their flavor. And the last thing to go in is just simple green cabbage. Again, shredded. And remember, like just a chunk of green cabbage goes a long way. This dish that we're making will feed 2 people with a hearty appetite, 3 people with a so-so appetite, and 4 people if they're lighter eaters. The last pinch of salt, and now the pinch is a little bit bigger And maybe I'll even go for a second one because now I want to season this a bit. And now you saute just until your cabbage starts to wilt. And this is over pretty high heat, so it'll happen pretty fast. If you want to use a food processor to chop your veggies, you can do that, or a mandolin. You know, whatever makes your life easier, it doesn't matter. You can get the veggies in the pan. So just do what you have to do to get them in there. Now that the cabbage is starting to break down, now we'll take our tofu. Just going to cut the tofu into little cubes. Flip it up, cut it into three, cut it into three this way, and you have tofu cubes. And this is plenty of protein for a meal. Now we're just going to kind of spread those around, break them apart. One last seasoning of salt. And now you can see that your vegetables have started to wilt just a little bit. Now I'm going to add to this a tiny bit of water, just a tiny bit, and you'll hear it sizzle. Just like that. Now this gets covered for 5 minutes. Then we add the mochi, let that simmer for 3 or 4 minutes until it melts, and you got dinner. We'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so my veggies are ready. So now what you want to do, this is about a half package of mochi, and that'll take care of that skillet size. So you want to slice it pretty thinly so that it melts. I mean, if it's thicker, it's just going to take a little longer. You know, it depends on how fast you want this ready. So you need a sharp knife because the mochi's pretty dense, right? And you want to make sure that you get through it and end up with having all 10 of your digits. So now you take the lid off your lovely steaming veg. God, beautiful. And what you'll notice is there's just a tiny little bit of liquid left at the bottom. It's perfect. So you make sure your veggies are nice and flat and even. And now you just take your mochi and you arrange these pieces all around the veg. And what you want to do is make sure that you're pretty well covered. That the surface of the veggies is covered with mochi. You can have a little bit of peek through because it's going to melt, but you really want to make sure that you get, so that's why you need like a half package for an average skillet. Now you just take a tiny bit of water. I usually go like this with my fingers. You really don't want to like flood this thing now, but you want a little bit of moisture on top of the mochi. Then pop your skillet lid back on, lower your heat to medium, and in about 5 minutes, you will have the richest meal. I can't even tell you. Wait till you see this. Okay, it's been about 4 minutes. Ta-da! And all I can say is voila, you have a meal. Whole grains, protein, and veg. One pot, one dish, totally yummy. Enjoy!